Right, good afternoon, traders. Today is January 21st, 2026. My name, Coach Carignan. I'm lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. Thank you for being here. Thank you to all my paying subscribers. Try to provide actionable, profitable content every day. Let's go ahead and take a look at the markets today. See what happened. How I made 2,700 with 112,500 account. Let's take a look at that. All right, so first let's take a look at the 10-minute chart. You can see right there's my results. All right, I'm going to move this up, push this over, and turn this off just for a minute. All right. On the 10-minute chart, we got 10-minute bearish consolidation. We came from this area to a lower point, and then we're consolidating over to the right. Okay, so 10-minute bearish consolidation, even though we're up over VWAP right here. Okay, so that's 10-minute chart. 2-hour chart. 2-hour chart is, let's take a look at it over here with the 2-hour. And the 2-hour chart is still, just a second. Okay, the 3 EMA is 683.05. The 8 EMA is 683.25. So we still got, see the candlesticks and the 3 EMA still in a downtrend right here. Even with that big green candle, we're still in a downtrend. Okay, let me give you the lay of the land. The yellow line right here, that's the 3 EMA. The gold line, that is the VWAP line. The white line, that is the 8 EMA. And all the dots represent the 17 EMA. When price is underneath the dots, all right, it's red. When it's over the dots, it's green. All right, so that way you kind of have an idea what's going on here. All right, so here's a 2-hour chart, still in a downtrend. 10-minute chart, bearish consolidation right here. Daily chart, we're still in a downtrend because now we have to make a higher high. Okay, price action for today is a higher low and a higher high, closing inside a bearish trap, but under the flat 17 EMA at the top of quadrant 4. Okay, so we haven't made any higher highs yet, so we're still in the downtrend till we negate the downtrend. All right, so it's bullish at the top of quadrant 4, but still in a downtrend. Weekly chart, still bullish and in an uptrend. Monthly chart, still bullish and in an uptrend. Let's take a look at QQQ. QQQ on the daily, well, let's take a look at it on the 10-minute chart. Bearish consolidation on the 10-minute chart. 2-hour chart, we have, better check it, 613.67, 613.69. Still in a bearish 2-hour downtrend, looking like it's about to close out. So 2-hour downtrend, 10-minute bearish consolidation. On the daily chart, have a low. So we're still in a downtrend until we take out this high up here. So at the top of quadrant 4, okay, so that's bullish up there, but still in a downtrend until we negate it right there. And the only way to negate it is to take out this high up here. That would negate the downtrend. Okay, so currently QQQ still bullish, closing over the all-time high anchored VWAP, but still bullish up here. All right, here's the April low. All right, still over the all-time high anchored VWAP. Still bullish, but still in a downtrend. Okay, so it can be bullish, but pulling back in their uptrend. So we'll see what happens with that. So there's an uptrend line that they broke through there. There's QQQ. Let's take a look at IWM. All right, IWM prints a new all-time high. Okay, just dropped the mic. It doesn't get any better than that. Okay, here is the April low. There's the all-time high. That's bullish and still in an uptrend for IWM. Diamond Dow. Diamond Dow prints a higher low, higher high, closing, I'm going to call it over a bearish trap. and over the 17 EMA at the top of quadrant 4, still bullish. Here's the April low, and in a uptrend. Okay, still bullish and still in an uptrend because they didn't take out the low. See, here's the low that goes below the 17. They didn't take it out, so they're still in their uptrend. So still bullish and in an uptrend on Diamond Dow. Let's take a look at Stinker. Stinker puts in a spinning top. That's a lower high and a lower low, closing under the bearish trap under the 17 EMA, the falling 17 EMA, underneath the all-time high anchored VWAP at the bottom of quadrant, well, if you take from this high down to this low, at the bottom of quadrant 1, but if we back out, we're just at the midpoint here from the April. Here's the origin of the move, April low, all-time high, from the April low to the all-time high. Stinkers right at the midpoint. They're on the bullish side of the midpoint, so they're neutral, still in a downtrend for FNGU. All right, let's take a look at silver and gold. Silver got a little lower high and a lower low, closing over a bullish trap over the rising 17, top of quadrant 4. All right, here's our 2022 origin of the move right here. Okay, so they're still bullish and in an uptrend on silver. Gold probably did the same thing. Gold did a new all-time high for gold, so it doesn't get any better than that. So that's bullish and in an uptrend. Here's the 2022 origin of that move right there. Okay, so there's gold printing a new all-time high, bullish and in an uptrend. UNG higher low, higher high, closing over a bullish trap, over the hooking 17 EMA, underneath the 12-month high anchored VWAP right there. Still in the lower third, so it's bearish. And I think they put in the high there is 1368. The high here is 1374. So they're no longer in a downtrend thanks to this candle here. Okay, so that's a uptrend for UNG, but still bearish because they're in the lower third. All right, and they're still underneath this 12-month high anchored VWAP. So that's UNG. Let's take a look at USO. Okay, USO higher low, higher high, closing over a bullish trap over the rising 17 EMA, over the 3-year, 4-year, call it a 4-year high anchored VWAP right there. All right, and in the middle of the playing field, not in the bullish side, not in the bearish side. So in the middle, that's neutral and in an uptrend for USO. Take a look at technicals, T2101. This would be the participation. And you can see we got, well, we went higher, but we lost participation because we put higher low. But as far as IWM goes, all right, depending upon how you look at it, if you look at IWM, they put in a new all-time high right here. Price action is went lower, all right, with participation. So a little bit of opposite of what happened yesterday with that big dip. We lost more participation in the market. We really don't want to lose any, kind of want to gain participation, but don't want to gain it when we're going down, okay? So lost some more participation. So not that many people interested in the market going down, T2101. T2122. Well, would you look at that? Okay, we fought our way back up out of the seller's chop zone, back into the overbought zone, back down to the buyer's chop zone, and then back up here to be in the buy zone. So we got a low, put in a higher low, got a high, put in a higher high, even a higher high than that, even a higher high than that. So price action almost closing inside the overbought zone. So nice work for the bulls today. They did their job well on T2122. T2123, no lower low. Bullish gap up. Bears never filled it. Obviously, we're in an uptrend. Got a high. We made a higher high, so that's bullish and in an uptrend on T21, 23, 15-minute chart up over the rising 200 SMA. 3-bar chart. Again, that's a new all-time high for T21, 23. So that is, you can see at the top of quadrant 4, that's bullish and in an uptrend. Here's the April low. That was the prior all-time high right here. Right here, it's the prior all-time. This is the new all-time high right here. Okay, not this number. That number's gone. Okay, so over the 200 SMA. Again, top of quadrant 4, that's bullish and in an uptrend. Let's take a look at Stinker. And Stinker puts in, well, they made a lower low, so that made them continue the downtrend. They got a high right here, and they put in a higher high, so they left off with an uptrend right here, an uptrend, okay? Now, if, put the quad lines, here's the all-time high, there's the pullback low. We're still down here in quadrant 1. This is a 15-minute chart, not the daily. Okay, so this is bearish. Okay, and currently in an uptrend. Currently in an uptrend because they got a high here over the 17. They made a higher high, but bearish. Notice they're under the falling 200 SMA. Notice they're under the all-time high anchored VWAP here. Okay, that's the pink line right there. So still bearish, but in a 15-minute uptrend, just barely hanging on. All right, so that's FNGU. All right, for today, when I traded, kind of a rocky start today. We'll go over that in just a minute here. Okay, let's start off with SPY. We'll take it up on the 5-minute, okay, and we got to have kind of a look at the pre-market for some reference. Okay, so you got consolidation under consolidation. That's a bearish bias. Okay, and then out of nowhere, we ripped this morning. Don't know why, but we ripped. All right, my bias was still bearish. Okay, and we ripped all the way up here. I bought puts the whole way up. No calls at all. Okay, bought puts the whole way up. All right, traded the drop and made profit on the puts into the drop. Not much. Again, I was buying them the whole way up, so I was well underwater when I got up here. Okay, but after doubling down multiple times, okay, I was able to get out, squeak out a little bit of profit. And then from here, we had a rally up, which I did not trade, was this rally up. Instead, I called BS on the news and bought puts up here to trade the pullback from the all-time high anchored VWAP back down to this area down here where the wedge is. Okay, so that's how I made my profits today. Again, not much in profits. Normally I do about 10K in profits, 5K in profits. Only 2,700 in profits today. Kind of a wacky day. The news that came out of nowhere right here and just rallied up to the all-time high anchored VWAP right there. So that duped me. Okay, lost some money on that one because I had some puts that were looking good, and then all of a sudden they were not. See, they were the 278 puts, and you can see I was holding them on to them right here, right at 278, and then we pulled this number all the way up to 688, and then of course those were well underwater by the time that they got up there, so I got burned. And that happens sometimes, but that's a big reason why when you look at my game plan, I choose out of the money options, okay? Because if I have in the money options, all right, that $10 rip, if I had 10 contracts in the money, that would be a $10,000 loss right there from here up to there. Because remember, it went from 678 up to 688, and if those were in the money contracts, okay, and it went against me like that, I would be underwater $10,000, okay, just on that move. All right, so for that reason, I choose out of the money puts in case something like that does happen, and I'm very thankful that it did. And I was able to trade this all the way back to here. So that's it. All right, that's it for me today. Kind of a struggly day. Not much of a quick 10-minute uptrend over VWAP, 10-minute downtrend under VWAP with no follow through, and then a quick another 10-minute uptrend up over VWAP here, and then a pullback. Just a sloppy day, all in all, for me. Thanks, CP. Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Eric. Thanks, everybody. Hope to see y'all tomorrow. It was a tough day for me. It may be a tough day for you as well. Yep. Thank you. I will see you all tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the morning. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Have a beautiful day.